Welcome back, Halo followers. Today we have a 44-minute video of 343 Industries answering questions about Halo Infinite, including our playable elites in Halo Infinite, and also they talk about gameplay design, the world design, the weather system, night and day schedule, multiplayer, and just a lot of cool things that you don't want to miss. So I've basically broken it down, and if you've already watched the video, then great. Here are some things you probably missed. If you haven't already seen the video, then it's breaking everything down and kind of focusing on the juicy stuff. So without further ado, guys, before we jump into the video, be sure to smash that like button blue and subscribe. Join me on the journey of following Halo for over 9 years, going on to 10. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is the campaign. All right, there will be no weapon upgrades in the campaign. This was an idea that they had, as we saw back in the July reveal, nor will there be an inventory. Apparently they had a system for crafting an inventory, but they ultimately decided to cut this out because it didn't feel like Halo. There is still progression on equipment items and other things that can be upgraded, just not weapons, and also you can find special weapon variants in the world. So basically the campaign is based on Silent Cartographer. Not a big surprise. They've expanded the ability to hold onto your vehicles past mission ends. I wonder if you can actually store your vehicles at bases. There's actually roads in this world and open bases, UNSC bases you can visit and probably do some things that, like, talk to Marines, coordinate side missions, or, things like that you might see in an open world game. And everything is basically very seamless in this world, right? Also, UNSC bases can be overtaken by the Banished. I thought that was very interesting. So let's talk about biomes, all right? Biomes, if you don't know what that word is, it's basically, a certain region on the planet, right? Or a certain kind of environment, right? So like a desert, a forest, etc. All right. Hopefully I described that right. But anyway, basically, most of Zeta Halo's biome is Pacific West, what we've seen here, forest-rich areas, right, based on Washington, all right? There's also sub-biomes in these larger biomes. So there's something called the Deadlands, right? War-torn areas that are basically, destroyed by probably Banished and UNSC fighting up on Zeta Halo. There's also cave systems, all right? Organic caves that you might see in, wilderness that have just naturally formed. Also, there's hex wall caves, all right? Made purely out of Foreigner hex walls. And also Foreigner architecture interior systems and Banished fortifications. But we don't know too much about the biomes entirely, like will there be a desert, will there be a snow biome, things like that seems to be left unanswered at the moment, but there are going to be quite a few biomes, and also transitions to these biomes are meshed well, they claim. Now, they didn't like the hex walls back a while ago and how they rendered in the game, but have improved so far. So they've worked a lot on the materials and textures. You can also grapple shot on them and walk along the shelves. So there's no invisible barriers there, it seems. Also, the world is structured in a way where you can sequence break and skip to other parts of the world. Now, you're not really breaking the campaign or experience, but you're kind of dropped off in this world that kind of lets you move at a pace, but also, if you really want to, you can go do this side mission that other players might not experience until the very end of the game, for example. So there is a lot of choice exploring the world, they say, and what missions or stories you want to pursue and when, and they say that the gameplay flow feels organic and natural. All right, also, audio logs are hidden in the world, just like upgrades. These will basically these audio logs have about battles that took place, personal stories, past things that have happened. So lore is hidden around the world. Also, Zeta Halo is basically a character, right? This ring is a character, and the skybox that you see in the background is actually all 3D models. There's also an eclipse that happens at certain times of the day and night cycle. Really excited to see that. And also, Halo Infinite, I found this very cool, will not have pre-rendered cutscenes, all right? They will be live in engine, which means, by the way, long time from now, but certainly there will be ability to add and adapt and change things in the cutscenes through mods. But yeah, anyway, we're not there yet. But what's cool about this inherently to the game is that whatever time of day it is that it happens to be, then that will reflect in the cutscene. That means cutscenes will have a ton of variety, and also whatever weapons you have on hand will be on you, on Master Chief, in these cutscenes, alright? So very cool. The Banished also drops their fortifications from orbit. You can actually also push objects off Zeta Halo, so not completely shocking, but still really cool to see the absolute dead drop of Zeta Halo floating in space, and you can push things off in vehicles over the edge. Also, the world is created in a way that complements the vehicles that are found in space. So if you find a wasp or a scorpion, then things in the world are going to be fun to interact with those vehicles laying around. So moving on, let's talk about multiplayer. There's not a whole lot of information here, besides the fact that the big one is that there will not be playable elites here in multiplayer, because one, this is a Master Chief story, at least for the campaign. There won't be any elites there. This is all focused on Master Chief, so maybe that basically confirms we won't be able to play as the Arbiter. There is no playable Arbiter in this campaign, but also they wanted to focus on the Spartan versus Spartan in multiplayer and making it fair, and they say maybe one day they'll add elites, but right now that's just their focus, making Spartan versus Spartan in multiplayer fair. Another cool thing is in custom games, they are working on making it where you can hold multiple equipment in custom games. So you can have a grapple shot and a drop wall in the same inventory, right? Or carrying those two things at the same time. Also, let's talk about the world and weather system lastly, all right? This is cool. There is a wind system that is audio and visual. A fog system as well that comes in at a certain time of day and altitudes. So really dynamic weather system, sort of. However, there is no rainstorms or snowstorms, which I find pretty disappointing. It was hinted in the Ask 343 video that may come later, but wildlife also has bioluminescent on them. So some wildlife is going to be glowing and be illuminated during nighttime, which I thought was really cool. And speaking of nighttime, there's going to be more sleeping grunts during that time. There's going to be more searchlights, patrols out at that time. There's going to be more jackal shields, more jackals with their energy shields out in the dark, because they said the only reason is that it looks cool, and it probably does. And there's going to be more fusion coils lying around. Those are going to look probably pretty cool at night. So there will also be wildlife in this game, obviously. However, they confirmed that none of them are hostile. All right, they wanted to focus on the Banished versus UNSC. They also confirmed that there are bird-like creatures on this ring that are going to be flying to a specific area in the world at times that might want to be catching your attention. So they might be flying towards a place that is relevant to you as the player in that region. So really cool. Currently, there is actually, and this is a big one, there is no dual wielding, all right? They wanted to focus on gunplay and equipment. Their explanation was kind of confusing, just like it was with the why they changed the Magnum into the Sidekick in Halo Infinite. I don't really understand the explanation, and I didn't really currently understand this one either, but I guess they just want to focus on making that kind of very direct, fair experience, and when you have dual wielding, that can kind of confuse and probably messy the waters. I think this is what they were trying to say. It messes the water when you have like a needler and a sidekick. Is that balanced or not? That creates all kinds of confusion, I guess, as far as making that possible. I think it would be great if we could have it in custom games, because I think anything should go in custom games. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much a wrap. That is a very quick breakdown of the Ask 343. I tried to go over this as fast as possible and just focus on the juicy stuff. But some big points is that playable elites, they're not coming, or they're not going to be there at launch anyway. They might come, but also there will not be dual wielding in the game. There will not be rainstorms or snowstorms, which I find pretty disappointing. But also the cutscenes are going to be rendered live. All right, they're going to be live, and that means that there's a lot more customization possible. That also means that there's not going to be blur-like cutscenes, but we've already seen the cutscenes, and you really shouldn't be expecting that if you are. But with that being said, guys, there is a lot to look forward to, and if you want to watch the full video, I've left a link down in the description for you. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, and that's all I can really say. Subscribe, join me on the journey of following Halo, and if you haven't already, smash that like button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one soon. Peace.